What I'll show you now is how to solve these types of equations. Before you can do that, you need to be able to recognize what this is. It's a quadratic. And in a previous video, I'll have shown you what a quadratic looks like. It's got an x squared term, x term, number term. So when you factorize this, it will be double brackets. So here's one. Solve this thing here, this equation. So it will be double brackets, as I've just said. You'll have an x and x there because x times x gives you x squared. But what about the other two bits, the missing bits? How do I get those? Well, this is how. What two numbers multiply together to give you 24, positive 24, but those same two numbers, when added together, has to give you that middle number there, 11. Well, some of you might straight away say, oh, okay, 2 times 12. 2 times 12 gives you 24. But then, wait, does that 2 add 12 give you 11? No. So you can't use those numbers, so you have to try different numbers. I mean, some of you have already thought about this. You will say, well, it's going to be 3 and 8. 3 and 8. 3 times 8 is 24. Check. Is 3 add 8 give you 11? Okay, so it satisfies both conditions. So you can put the 3 and 8. The 3 and 8 over here and here. You can put the 8 and 3 there the other way around, but it doesn't matter. But how do we go about solving this now? Remember, it's got an equal symbol. So this side is equal to 0. So we need to find two values of x. Two values of x that give you 0. Well, one of them is going to be x equals 2. Well, what would make this side, all of this, equal to 0? Well, it would be minus 3, wouldn't it? Because minus 3 add 3 is 0. So that's minus 3. Look on the other side now. What value of x can I put in here, substitute in here, to make all of that 0? Well, it's going to be minus 8, because minus 8 add 8 is 0. So x is minus 8. You can just do a quick check on the calculator. So I'm going to just copy that into my calculator. Well, without the x, I'm going to substitute the value of x. So replace the x. Let's try minus 3. Let's put the minus 3 in there. Minus 3 plus 3. Remember, there's a time symbol in between. Replace x with minus 3. Remember, we're working with minus 3 at the moment. Just testing at the minus 3. Plus 8. Look, so when you substitute minus 3 in there, you get 0. Obviously, because when you put minus 3 in there, the whole thing becomes 0. 0 times anything is 0. And let's test at the minus 8 now. Let's test out the minus 8 in here. So let's just go back and edit. So make that minus 8. Right, so now, see, that gives you 0. That gives you 0. So when you substitute any of those values, you get the right hand side as 0. So these are the correct answers. Right, so now, just a few more examples. Double bracket. You recognize it's a quadratic, so it's double bracket. What two numbers multiply together to give you, hold on, not positive 15, but negative 15. So the sign is important. Whatever sign is there is important. But those same two numbers when added together to give you 2, positive 2. Don't bother writing positive 2 because we know it's just 2. You can have a bit of trial and error, try different numbers. I can think of minus 3 and 5. Just going to check. Minus 3 times 5. Minus 3 times 5. Minus 3 times 5 gives you minus 15. But does minus 3 add the positive 5 give you 2 on the number line? Think about the number line. Yes, it does. So we can use those numbers. We can use minus 3 and 5. You can swap them around if you want. It makes no difference. So to solve this now, x has to be, what would make this 0? All of that 0. Well, if you put 3 in there, 3 taken 3 would give you 0. The other value, what can I put in here to make that 0? minus 5. Right, so those are the correct answers. Right, next one. What two numbers multiply together to give you positive 20, but when added together gives you this negative 9? Well, you might be tempted with lots of different numbers. You could try, for example, minus 2 times 10. You could try minus 2 times 10. That does not give you 20, does it? 2 times 10, 20. 2 times 10 is 20, but is 2 add 10 equal to minus 9? No. So 2 times 10 works for that one, but 2 add 10 does not work for this one. Right. Some of you might get this straight away, some of you might take a little while, but you just have to try different numbers until you get this one and this one correct. I'm going to try minus 4 and minus 5. Minus 4 times minus 5, two negatives make a positive. Yeah, that bit's right. But will it work for this one? You've got negative 4, plus and minus. So you've got negative 4, that plus and minus wins, and you've got that 5 left over. So negative 4 take away 5 on the number line. Negative 4 take away 5 would land you on minus 9. That is correct. So these choice of numbers are proper. So we got minus 4, minus 5. Now to solve it now, what value of x? Value of x, that goes there. Right. Last one. Looks a bit awkward. I mean, you've probably noticed so far, everything on this side has been 0, 0, even the one we started off with. The last one here hasn't got a 0. So what can you do to it to make it into a 0? Well, to get rid of negative 1, you add 1. Whatever you do on this side, do on the other side. Now to solve it, what two numbers multiply together to give you 12, but when added together to give you 7? It's 4 and 3. So the two values of x, minus 4 and minus 3. Right, a common mistake people make when they see questions like this. When they see questions like this, when asked to solve, people straight away think, all right, start using the balancing method. Get rid of negative 15, add 15 both sides. So you're left with, these cancel, you're left with 15. But then, how are you going to single out the x? That becomes awkward. So what you should do is be able to recognize that it is a quadratic. So you can do factorization into double brackets and then solve it like I've shown you.